Wagwan everybody, welcome back to my channel Chronicles of a Midwife. My name is Amanda Nugent. Today is not about a physical aspect of my health and wellness, it's about my mental health and wellness today. So today will be the hardest day I will ever do on my channel, and I feel a little bit self-conscious about sharing my story about my early life as a preteen as well as a teenager, and all the trauma and the tragedy and the betrayal and the tabooness of what has happened to me. It is going to be a struggle to say these things. I have a 3-part video that I will be posting on my channel talking about my struggles throughout my early life, and I hope that me sharing my story can help somebody out there that are going through the same struggles that I have been through in my early life. I have reached a point where I can say to myself that I am at a stage where if I see these individuals, I can look at them and not be so afraid. My heart's not racing. I don't feel like I want to run anymore. But I just hope that at the end of these 3 videos, it can give somebody the strength, the courage, the wisdom to try and motivate them to reach a level in their lives where they can say, yes, I am where I am through my own efforts, and yes, God is a factor of all. God is the number one factor in all things healing, self-healing, and I just hope that this can help all women and men out there who have been traumatized in their childhood. Much respect. So coming to the maturity aspect of it, it would have been a case where I started maturing quite early in life. I started having the biggest breasts in primary school, and I would have been the taller one. Quite quickly, I became taller than my sister, and it brought a lot of positive attention in terms of how my body started maturing, but it brought a lot of negative attention as well. So it came to a point where even at a young age, my preteens, I was looked upon as an adult, because at the time I didn't know that I have polycystic ovarian syndrome and all those things. So at that stage in my life, when I was in my pre-teens or early teens, I got a lot of negative attention. These big men were looking at me as an adult, and I was very immature. In my own mind, I was a child, but I looked more of an adult. So it came to a point where, and this is where I get kind of emotional and very nervous about even speaking out, because a lot of the times that we don't speak out about what happened in our childhood, because a lot of the times we try to bury it in the recessions of our minds and move on with our lives, which is what I have done. But I know that I'm older and I'm wiser, and I know statistics, and I'm a midwife as well, so I've been around kids that have been in the same situation as I am. I try my best to help them and to facilitate them getting out of these situations that I could not get out of in my earlier life. So around the age of 11 or 12 was when I was first molested. There it is. I was molested as before I was even a teenager. Thank goodness, thank you Jesus, that it didn't progress to the point of actual penetration. But had I not had that strong mindset, or I wasn't stupid, I know that it was wrong, and so many persons don't really understand. They're so scared. It's just something so touchy. It's something so sad that at that tender age of 11 or 12, I was touched, molested by somebody who I would think that would be my family member. And why is it always a family member, somebody close to you, to betray you like that, to betray your trust, and for just mash up your head as this little young child, already going through all of these things, already going through insecurities and self-confidence, and having to be the outspoken one just to get attention. And it's not always the way to go. And that's why some people think that you're so loud and you're so aggressive. Sometimes it's not even trying to be loud and aggressive, you know. It's just trying to be heard, trying to be recognized for something. And this man that did this to me at that age, it broke my confidence, it broke me. And I and even trying to speak up about it, it made no sense, because the belief factor in it as well. You know, a lot of families out there, when you speak up even as a child, they either don't believe you or they believe you, and then one cousin ensue, and then that was it. He still came around. And so at that age, I mean, I'm always this hyper and effervescent child, so I'll be around everybody. I was so tactile. I like to touch, I like to hug, I like to sit in your lap. Which child doesn't like to do that? That you're a child, you don't think that you sitting in somebody's lap would be the catapult or the catalyst for them to feel this urge to do something so violating to a child? Why are we doing these things? Why are we doing these things to our children? So even, I think it was around that same time it happened to me again, but it was with a family friend. So I'm like here saying, I was just so insecure now, because what am I doing that is so wrong to want this, and I became so aggressive. I didn't want anybody to touch me, anybody looking at my sister, anybody looking at my mother too hard. I was like cursing them off. I always found it so endearing. You protect your sister, you protect your mother, you protect somebody else. But I was just, the guards were always up in my head, thinking that, wonder if this person is going to try something bad to my relatives, or something like it happened to me. And worse, my sister was a pretty one. I didn't trust anybody at the time. No men, no male figures at all, except for my father, of course. But nobody else I really trusted. Even my favorite uncles, I couldn't trust them because of what already happened to me. So even though that, you know, certain persons didn't come to me, it was always there to keep my distance, to laugh and to smile. And again, at the age of, it would have been 14, it would have been a time when that same family member came around me, and he did it again. I was in my sleep this time, and he came into the house. I didn't know that nobody was there, and he came, and I just woke up to the sensation on my body, and that was him over me. And I feel so dirty. I felt so dirty. I felt so dirty. I felt so violated. People don't understand the things that you go through when you've been violated. You don't even have to go so far to be violated. You just have to you pass that boundary. You pass it. You pass it. You pass it, man. You pass it. You pass it. And then he came back a third time. He came back a third time when I was about 14. He came back. He came back. And I was ready for him, because this time I said that if you touch me, I'm gonna kill you. And so I spotted him before he came into the yard. I spotted him and I had that scissors sitting. I was so scared, but I was ready. I was so scared, but I was ready to defend myself any way that I could. Any way that I could. And I didn't do anything. I just, before he came, or when he went into the house, I put down the scissors right in front of him and I stepped out. I walked out and I sat on the steps of my landlord's house, and that is where I sat. I don't remember how long I sat there before I actually got up, and yeah, I waited for him to leave. And they probably, God rest his soul, him probably, I wonder why I'm just there sit down. I was playing with my little mongrel dogs there, and so that is the end of part 2. I hope that my experience in my childhood is not your experience, or if you know somebody who has been through something like this, can motivate them and encourage them to seek help, to seek counseling, as well as an appeal to the men and women, yes, women out there that are touching and violating these little children as early as, I don't even want to talk about the ages that I have seen children, babies. Why are we taking away their childhood? Why are we robbing them of their childhood? Why don't we allow them to flourish? They can't make these decisions on their own so early in life. Why are we robbing them? Why are we... And I hope that the families out there with these individuals that are doing these things, you need to speak up and speak out against it. Stop silencing the children. Stop putting it under the rug. Stop telling the children that they're liars. You need to check it out, because trust me, some of the things that I've seen out there in my profession, it is not pretty. 80%, at least 80% of children have been molested or sexually abused and violated in that way. By who do you think? Close members of the family, or close friends, or friends of the family. So please don't be out there thinking that, oh, the pitney them bad, or oh, she money, or oh, she love man too much. Sometimes you have to think, why are they like this in the first place? Sometimes things are going on that we don't know, and we won't know until they get pregnant, and we won't know because the way how we treat our children, sometimes they're so afraid to come to you as parents or guardians. They're so afraid to speak to anybody because they're so afraid of the reception that they will get. From now on, I hope this will give somebody the strength and the understanding of how to approach children. When you see your child acting out in a certain way, or you see them being effervescent, or you see that they like to play but no, you see them quiet, you need to start questioning what is going on. Most of the time, children change suddenly. Something has occurred in their lives that caused them to change their attitudes, and we think that them bad. Not all the time them bad. We need to watch our children. We need to love them, and we need to respect them as well. So I hope that this will help parents, friends, families, loved ones out there, to be a little bit more kind to everyone, not only children, but everyone. I'm going to be having another part to my story. It's going to be part 3. Much respect.